Hey everybody, thanks for being here for our writer's room meeting today. We're going to be planning our 5th episode, which is all about why our words matter.
Yes, I love this idea. My favorite word is peristeronic.
What? Well, I don't know if people will know what that means.
Peristeronic is anything related to or concerned with pigeons.
Dictionary Dan.
Well, that is a good one. My favorite word is verisimilitude.
Verisimilitude is something having the appearance of being real or true.
Dictionary Dan.
Nice. These are good words. Tangential is my go-to. Tangential refers to a part of a conversation that is off course or has little relevance to the main subject of discussion.
Dictionary Dan.
Yeah, these are all really big words. My favorite word is splendid.
Splendid, magnificent, very impressive.
Dictionary Dan.
No, you know what? I take it back. My favorite word is dictionary.
A dictionary is a book or electronic resource that lists the words of a language, typically in alphabetical order, and gives their meaning, and often also provides information about pronunciation, origin, and usage. Okay. I think we're getting a little sidetracked.
Would you say this is getting a bit tangential?
Yes. When we talk about our words, the conversation has to be more than just about the individual words we use. What we choose to talk about matters a whole lot too.
But wait, does this mean that we're not going to talk about Kamarcharski?
That is not a word.
I mean, I knew that.
Let's just get started.
Salutations.
Oh, salutations, eh? That's a new one.
Well, today we're talking all about our words, so I thought I'd take my vocabulary up a notch.
Nice. I like it. Today, we're talking all about why our words matter. And I've found whenever we're writing a new script for a show, a movie, or a play, the words that we choose steer the direction that that show will go. Today, we are joined by someone who is extremely good with his words. He is a speaker, a reader, a writer, and a rapper, and he also knows a couple additional languages like Greek and Hebrew. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Gilliam!
Hey man. Hi everybody.
Coming up next, we're going to do an all-new segment called Tell Me About It. Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Elevate Show, everyone. We've got Brandon Gilliam here with us today, and we're going to be talking all about why our words matter in a new segment we like to call Tell Me About It. In this part of the show, each of us is going to act like we're in a commercial and try and sell you something from a passage in the Bible.
Each of these things has something to do with the words we use.
Tell me about it. Because of the game. Never mind.
Nice. Well, let's get started.
Whoa! Whoa! Do you struggle to get your horses to obey you? Well, it's the worst. Struggle no more with this innovative product. With this small piece of metal in the mouth of a horse, you can control the entire animal. It's called a bit, and with it, you can get the horse to obey you. People have tamed all kinds of wild animals, birds, reptiles, and sea critters, and the horse is no exception. Let's talk about the book of James, chapter 3. Just like this small product in the mouth of the horse, the tongue is a small part of the human body, but it talks big and leads you just like a bit leads a horse. Here's the thing, no one can tame the tongue, so you've got to be careful. That thing is dangerous. Buy this bit and watch that tongue.
Hey, wait. Don't skip over this ad. Is your house infested with dragons? Yeah, it is. And that's a real problem because those things start little fires all over the place. I mean, you got sparks coming out of their mouth, and you've got to do something about that. Oh no, it's a fire! What you need is a trusty fire extinguisher. You gotta put that stuff out. James says that our tongue is like a fire too, and he's not talking about straight fire when you're spitting bars. Nah. He's saying that you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself and douse that thing before it burns your whole life down. Now look, all of us make small mistakes every day, but the thing is, a single spark can set a whole forest on fire. So you better watch it.
Every day, somewhere on Earth, another household experiences a tragedy like they never imagined. They go to turn on the water and discover, to their horror,
Oh, it's gross. It tastes so salty.
it's the worst thing in the world.
Well, I mean, it tastes gross, and it's not really all that drinkable. But it's not the worst thing in the world.
And then, there are strange ocean creatures ending up in your home because they breathe salt water and are here for it.
What is happening?
Donate to those who have been affected by the oceanic overreach. Call now.
This reminds me of what James has to say. Drinking salt water is no fun.
Except for sharks. They love it.
Well, okay, that's true. Check out what James has to say in chapter 3, verses 10 and 11 of his book. Praise and cursing come out of the same mouth. My brothers and sisters, it shouldn't be this way. Can fresh water and salt water flow out of the same spring? The answer is no. Fresh water and salt water can't come from the same source. And in the same way, our words can be nasty, like salt water, or life-giving, like fresh water.
Our words have the power to direct our lives. A little bit like the bit on a horse, but it can be a problem when we start heading in the wrong direction.
Right, just like fire. I mean, if fire's in the right place at the right time, it's a good thing, but if it's used inappropriately, it can burn people, and that's not good.
Yeah, well, and I think the important thing to remember from all this is that we can choose what kinds of words we want to use, and we can use our words for good.
I'd agree. The passage in James talks a lot about how our words can be destructive and hurtful, but how can we use our words for good to help people? Let's talk a little bit more about this when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Today we've been asking the question, why do our words matter? And our friend Brandon Gilliam is here to help us talk about this. Brandon, at the beginning of the show, I mentioned how you are a speaker, a reader, a writer, a rapper, how you know a couple of other languages, and you're super good with your words. Where does your love for words come from in the first place?
If I were to trace it all the way back for me, it would be on the bus ride to school. I rode the bus to school every day. And while I was on the bus to kind of pass the time, I would listen to the radio, okay? We listened to the radio a million years ago, okay? And it was during those times of riding the bus and listening to these songs over and over again that I began to realize that words have a real impact on me and words have a real impact on others as well.
Have there ever been times when you've said something that you wish you hadn't?
Just the other day, I got a phone call from someone I work with, and at the end of the phone call, I said, "I love you," and I didn't mean to say that. and they were so gracious on the other line, they said, "No worries, I love you too," and then we hung up the phone. But in all seriousness, there are plenty of other times when I use my words when I really shouldn't have. Our words can be dangerous. They can actually hurt someone's feelings. And there have been times when I've made that mistake. But what I've learned through those mistakes is that my words have power, and I should only ever use them for good.
I think that's really good advice. Well, what about times though when you see something that you don't like and you feel like you've just gotta say something about that?
I don't think we should shy away from addressing problems. In fact, one of the Bible verses, if I can, that I really like is from Ephesians chapter 4. It says this: "Don't let any evil talk come out of your mouths. Say only what will help to build others up and meet their needs. Then what you say will help those who listen." So even when we're addressing a problem, we shouldn't use evil words. Instead, figure out a way to use our words to build people up.
Yeah, our words can be really dangerous and hurtful, but we can also use our words for good too.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to do that too. going up to a friend and saying, "You look great today," or "I love your energy," or "I love being around you," or just being generally positive to your friends, and also using your words to say how great God is. All of those are ways to impact someone's future with your words.
Speaking of ways that we can impact someone's future, I see that you've brought something here to help us understand that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look.
Okay, check this out. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that James encouraged us to think about in the Bible passage we looked at earlier is about ships. Now, ships are normally very big. This one, of course, is very small, but they are driven by big, strong winds, and they're steered by something called a rudder. See, a rudder is a very small part of the boat, but it tells the boat where to go. In the same way, James tells us that the tongue is a small part of a person's body, but when we learn to control it, it has a very big difference. So, if we learn to control our tongues, we can learn to control our bodies.
In the same way, when we use our words to encourage people, to make a new friend, or to welcome someone, our words make a big impact, not only on us, but on other people as well.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I have had so much fun having you on the show today, but we are not done, because when we come back, we're gonna play a game called Word Sneak that I think you're really gonna enjoy. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to the final part of our show, where we're about to play a game called Word Sneak.
Today we've been talking about how we can use our words for good. Our words can make a huge impact, so it's important that we choose our words carefully. And in today's game, we do just that.
In this game, we've each been given a set of 5 weird words that we need to work into a conversation as smoothly and as casually as possible. The challenge for us is that I'm told each of these words gets weirder and weirder as they go, so it's gonna get harder and harder for us to make it look normal. You guys ready for this?
I guess.
Let's go.
Okay, all right. Well, the conversation begins now. I want to start this conversation by telling you about something I did the other day. So I collect comic books. I don't know if you knew this about me.
Oh.
And I like to put them in those special plastic bags just in case you spill on them.
Sure.
But the plastic bags don't have a way to attach it to itself. So you got to get out the old Scotcheroo tape. And then once you do, you can tape the plastic bag down. Life's good. Yeah.
There you go. Well, when I need to attach things or put them up on the wall or anything like that, sometimes I get a wall hook or something like that. And I like to buy fun wall hooks, right? So I have one that's shaped like an umbrella. I have another one that has horns like a triceratops. And I have another one that looks like a bicycle with handles coming out.
That is so weird because I do the same thing. My favorite hooks look more like from the veggie variety. So like zucchinis are up there and squash, you know. I like to have some tomatoes, you know, just for fun.
Well, did you know that tomatoes are actually a fruit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did know that.
I love fruit. I just love it, okay? But one of my favorite things to do with fruit, specifically strawberries, is I like to chop them up and put them in my Cheerios in the morning. That's a big favorite of mine.
See, and I'm not like a fruit in the cereal kind of person. I will have it for breakfast, or I'll have it as like on toast as like a jam or a jellyfish.
So when you think about how you don't want your stuff to mix, do you have like a certain plate that you have, you know, different sections on it to keep it separate? Because like when I have all my snacks, like if I'm out somewhere, like I'm going to State Fair or whatever, I just put all my snacks in my fanny pack, off I go.
But you know what, speaking of the State Fair, I mean, who doesn't love the State Fair? I mean, it's clearly the best State Fair in the tri-state area, you know,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little crazy, lots of hullabaloo, but.
Right.
I would say the State Fair is so good, it's out of this world. Like you go to the State Fair, you just eat a bite of your favorite thing and it's just like, whoo, I'm out on Saturn's rings right now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes when you're at the State Fair, there's, you know, so many people. There's like all kinds of people, and you know, sometimes it's so hard to sort of navigate through the crowds, and you got little whippersnappers coming at you from every end of the fair, you know, and it's pretty exhausting, but it is a lot of fun.
Yes, very fun and funny. Brouhaha.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you see your favorite food, whether it's, the cookies or the milk or whatever, and you've got to get there lickety split, otherwise the line is going to fill up.
Yeah, it can get crazy. I mean, almost as crazy as a zebra on a submarine. It's
That's
just
really
wildness
crazy.
and unexpected.
That is wild. And to navigate through all of it, you've got to be quick. It's like you've got to be on rollerblades to the moon. You know what I mean? You got to go fast to get there,
I feel like after all that, I would just be really tired. You've gone to the fair, you've gone lickety split, you rollerblade to the moon.
Right.
After a long day, you know what I want to do?
Tell me,
I just want to sit and paint a picture of a cornfield.
who doesn't want to do
That's
that?
all I want.
I think that sounds like the best way to end a day, especially at the state fair. To the state fair, everyone.
To the state fair.
To the state fair. That was awesome.
Totally awesome.
Really great job, you guys.
I want to play again, like right now.
We should.
We totally should.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you this week.
Yes, but before we go, we want you to remember this, that we can use our words for good.
That's right. Now, if you have a question about God, about something that's going on in your life right now, or maybe you have an idea for something that you'd like to see us do on the show, we would love to hear from you.
You can drop us a note in the mailbox at your campus or write to us online.
Coming up next week, we're going to be asking ourselves the question, what should you do when you're not the center of the tension? We'll see you next week.